Good morning and welcome back to WKNI TV 25. And folks, no, I did not get shorter. I just had Harold Barnes sit down next to me, and I'm like, good Lord Almighty, look at him. And he's taller, and he's bigger. But my goodness, Mr. Barnes, congratulations on a great job, and welcome to WKNI.
Thank you very much.
We were out there all 3 days off and on, came through, and to me it was it was a visual success from the level I know it. And you had how many vendors out there?
We hit 140 vendors this year.
Wow.
We had 126, I believe, last year, and we hit 140 this year. And the quality of the vending just went up tremendously. We scoured the country. We even had a guy from Ontario, Canada.
Yes. Yeah. He's the one I walked up to, and he said, "Hey."
Yeah. Imagine my first phone call from him.
Hey, what y'all talking about up there? I got friends up in Canada, and they said they love talking to me. They say because that southern drawl. And then I say I love talking to y'all because y'all go around saying "hey." And
Yeah.
But no, great event. It was geared around hunting and sports and fishing, but there's a lot of other things there.
Everybody wants to throw an expo that is just about hunting. We are about shooting sports, whether it's archery, guns, horseback riding. We had a young lady there selling various items for the ladies who like horseback riding. But what the show is truly about is getting young people and ladies in the outdoors. I don't care if it's hunting, fishing, camping, shooting sports. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, under one roof this past weekend, one of the things I enjoyed about it was you had the variety of vendors out there. You had hunting weapons, you had collecting weapons, you had clothing, you had kayaks, you had the only thing I didn't see was a helicopter, out there, inside somewhere.
You didn't see a helicopter?
There was one there.
There was a helicopter there.
See, there you go. It was so big, Eddie didn't get to see everything.
That's right. We had a guy from Pennsylvania, drove 18 hours from his home, and if you remember when you were a child, in our age group, the old toy cars you'd zip the zipper out of and set it on the ground. Well, he had helicopters like that, and he's the only one in the whole country that has those. He bought the company. So
I wish I'd seen that because I would have got them.
I bought me too.
We'll talk about your second one here shortly. I'll be sitting out here going, there's zip lines or whatever we used to call them. New thing for a zip line. Well, I missed something, Teresa. Imagine that.
I don't see how you missed it. He was flying them up in the air and back down to his booth all weekend long.
He didn't do it while I was there. He just knew, because that would have been on TV right now. Hey, the helicopter's inside the Kiwanis building.
It was awesome.
But and everybody was smiling. There was no tension. Usually, now I know in the background there had to be. I mean, but where everything was made out for the people and for the vendors. Everybody just seemed to be in a great mood. Everybody seemed to think that everything was going smoothly, the ones that we talked to.
We had a blast. For our second year, one thing that pleased me to know that our group did a good job managing this situation. All of the vendors that were professional vendors that go to the Buckmasters and all the expos around the country, they were shocked. They said for a second year, they were shocked at the quality, not only the quality, but how it was run professionally. And I didn't find a single one that didn't want to come back.
The variety, was phenomenal.
That's what we were striving to do this year. Last year, in all honesty, when you take something like this on, you want to be successful, so you do the best you can and try to build a building and make a good show. Well, this year, I've been working on it since probably 3 weeks after the show last year to scour the country, and we turned away, I guarantee you, 100 vendors.
Wow. And the way y'all laid that out inside, usually the when you go in there, they've got one set layout.
That's right.
Of walking in one door and walking all the way around, and kind of like doing nest pattern. And you all laid that thing out, and I was like, I told Teresa when we first went in on Friday, I said, wow, this was cool, because you made it almost like a store set up.
That's
Where
exactly
every
right.
aisle and everybody had access, and there's nothing hidden from anybody, and it was all wide open.
Yep. If you got the stuff, the tools to work with, and which the Quanians had the curtain material and all, I'm enlightening them as to what could be done with their floor space, and but also the city. I want to thank them sincerely. The mayor, Barbara Tyler, Andy, all the folks with the city, they got behind me 150%. And the city crew, the city workers come out there and helped us set that up. There's no way that my small crew could have done that by themselves. But not only that, last year we didn't have power in places that we needed. We didn't have the internet service we needed. And we got it done. The city got it done.
Well, I'll tell you, that was one thing I noticed when we went out there on Friday. I got a phone call inside the building.
Yes, sir.
And that never happens in that Kiwanian building. You either go outside and talk and make your phone calls and tell everybody you're inside the Kiwanis building. But what'd y'all do on that? Yeah, I got to get the secret.
You're going to have to ask Gary Buck, because when it comes to internet and cell phones and all that good stuff, I'm lost. But Gary worked very diligently with several others, and now that Quanian building has, for the first time ever, they have credit card capabilities at the ticket window.
Wow, amazing! And this folks came from. I got to ask you, Harold, why did you do this? I mean, I know this is your second time, but your first one you did last year, and I remember that one going off, and we didn't get a chance to talk to you then. But what makes a person want to do this? There's a financial goal, in there, but to bring this to Andalusia, Alabama, I keep telling folks on the air here, we are so blessed in this community to have the assets and the things that we have in this community. As far as fire, police, and it goes on and on. What we have, you go to small towns like this across the U.S., they have nothing.
That's right.
And then you bring in a expo that is world class, in my opinion, to Andalusia. I mean, what makes you want to do that?
We could have picked several towns, around us that are a little larger to try to do it, but this is my hometown, and I grew up here, graduated from Andalusia High School, went to LBW like a lot of kids, and went on to other schools. But my son goes to Strawn, and my daughter graduated from Strawn. The financial reasons behind it were really like any other family. We're looking to put Hunter through school, and but also deep down in my heart, the kids around here do not have a lot of things to look forward to in the summer. They got the ball and the sports, but for reaching out to the children who don't play sports, maybe they're into kayaking and boating and horseback riding. I've traveled the last 10 years with sideline jobs, helping with expos, helping set them up, tear them down, learning about them, making networking contacts through many large companies. You name a hunting or fishing company, I've come in contact with them, and in 10 years you acquire friends.
Wow.
And those friends who have a lot of friends in that industry, they're the backbone of why I've been able to do this.
Well, yesterday when we were there, just to give you an idea, you mentioned kayaking, but over the weekend we saw gun safety being practiced outside. The mayor and I were talking about this, and he says, they have these gun shows and expos all over the place. He says, but the one thing they cannot do is they cannot go out and fire weapons outside the building.
Play with the toys.
And here, the children, I saw the one that they had set up for the kids on Friday, and that was phenomenal because, here's gun safety being taught. One of the biggest things we, talk about here in the news all the time is gun safety when there's tragedy and things like that, and letting children know how to handle a gun. You had that out there.
We had it definitely. Fred Fedderson is a barrel manufacturer out of Tennessee, and right now he owns the world record with several of his barrels and several calibers. The man knows what he's doing. Well, Tim Bradley, who shoots for Benelli, is a friend of his, and Tim Bradley, I hired him for the show. He's a shooter for Benelli. Did an awesome job. Well, he hooked me up with Fred, and he actually also got me contacts for Benelli. So we ended up having Fred Fedderson there with his amazing 22 rifles. At 50 yards, you could put a bullet hole in a bullet hole if you're a good shot. And but the kids shot over 5,000 rounds of ammo.
Wow.
The city built a little dirt berm out there, and we set up a shooting gallery, just like you and I went to a fair when we were a child, shooting with the BB guns.
Right.
But we did it with the 22s. The police officers, Andalusia helped, the reserves helped, and they did phenomenal teaching those kids how to hold and shoot the guns properly, be safe, and I cannot thank them enough. Well, then Benelli sends their representative in here and brings every shotgun Benelli makes and charges people $1 for 3 shells just to cover ammo, and they got to go out there and shoot skeet. Jimbo Caton over there at the tire store found me a skeet machine that would hold, I don't know, 300 or 400 rounds of targets, but they shot every shell I had except for one case, and I thought I was going to run out yesterday.
You could have called me. I had a couple.
but and another biggie that was just a monster. It fell in my lap. I want to thank Mr. Ed Short. He come up with an idea while we were putting all this together of doing a ladies handgun training course.
Yes.
Paul Dean and the guys at the Andalusia PD were the instructors. They did a phenomenal job. We had, I know one class had 20-something women in it. There was 3 classes. There were women in every class, so I'm sure we went over 50. So that's not bad. But they got to do the classroom time, then go outside on the midway. We had a tent set up for them, and they got to shoot the simulated Glocks, which they shoot just like a regular Glock, but they shoot paintballs. They get the full recoil, full sound, and but the Andalusia PD, phenomenal job, guys. I couldn't have asked for any better. But on Friday, the week before the show, I got a call out of Miami, Florida, at 7 o'clock at night, and I'm like, who would be doing this? And I didn't recognize the number, but I answered it. It was Taurus Handgun Company.
Wow.
And a lady by the name of Kim, and I'm sorry I don't remember her last name right off the top of my head, but she said that she was from Andalusia years ago and just happened to look on Facebook and find us. And so that led her to our website. When she saw on the website that we were doing a handgun course, she went to her CEO, of the company, and said, we need to be here. I found out we are one of 10 entities in the whole United States doing what we're doing the hands-on training, the safety. They not only come on, she said, we want to sponsor you next year and be involved. We want to be there. We'll come do demonstrations. I turned around and I said, well, hey, what can you do this year to help us with this ladies handgun course? And she turned around and I said, I'm not looking for a handout, but how about this? Can you give me a really good price on a pistol for these girls? She turned around and said, I'll do it. Let me check on this. She called me back the following Monday at 8 o'clock at night and said, Harold, the CEO said we're sending you one. It'll be there overnighted. So a lucky lady, and I don't have her name because Paul's got that, won a brand new Taurus concealed carry pistol yesterday worth $500.
Wow.
And all she had to do was take a training course.
Amazing.
So,
and these are the side benefits that come from having something like this. And we haven't even gone into the dollar benefits,
right.
outside the expo. We're talking about restaurants. I mean, we went to Beef O'Brady's yesterday, and we were talking to the manager there, and he said, Eddie, we've been slammed between the baseball and between that expo. I mean, they had it down on timing, though. They knew when the right people are going to be up on stage and how the crowds are going to be. and the restaurant was just packed. All right, and the motels, like Teresa said earlier, were packed. Gas being bought, Walmart and local businesses being the sales tax generation.
Right.
And it happened the day before today, or ended the day before today, where the tax rates go up in the city. But we're not going to elaborate on that. But still, I can't imagine the millions of dollars that were generated within a 50-mile radius of this community through this.
I'm gonna tell you about the hotels. Every hotel in this area, I found out quickly, which I told all of my vendors coming in, you know, you better get your rooms early. I knew about the ball teams coming in. We had them staying in Evergreen. We had a couple staying in Greenville. They could not find a room. We had them staying in Opp, of course. One of them had to go to Bruton. I didn't even know Bruton. You know, I don't go through there very often.
Right.
They found something down in Bruton to stay at. But these folks, you know, we almost, if we do this every year, we almost need another hotel, to be honest with you. But
it may be coming. So
yeah,
I hear a rumor of one in Florella coming. So
well. It is a small problem, but it's a good problem to have. Just like the parking out there this weekend, you know, we'll learn from this experience, learn how to manage it, you know, and I'm sure the police officers will take a look at it and see what we can do to do things better next year. One thing that really, on a negative side, Friday with the rain and storms, you know, we lost some of our parking due to the wet grass and making everything so mucky around there. But, you know, you can't help Mother Nature, and you just strive to get through it. But on a positive note, we had a wonderful Saturday. And yesterday, a lot of people come out, had a great time. Saturday, we blew the doors off the place. The line to see the Landrys, as expected, it was about a 2-hour wait in line. But for the first time, between the two buildings out there, the Kiwanis building and the horse arena, I come up with an idea. I didn't want these people to suffer being out in the heat or rain if it happened. So we put a 20-foot tent all the way across, made them a corridor, and it was a blessing. I'm so glad we had it. And but the layout out at the Kiwanis complex and where we did the show, for the first time ever, we did an L shape behind the Kiwanis and up between the two buildings. The city did a great job and put up the fences and temporary fencing and had it perfect. We had food vendors on one side of the corridor, all your tractors, trucks, boats on the left side. So when you got done getting your autograph and going in with the fisheries department and the kids making free t-shirts, we had a girl doing face painting, all this fun stuff, they left that arena, walked around the nice little driveway that goes around the backside. Kids got to shoot .22s, shotguns. The kids on Friday, before the rain hit so hard, they had their hunter safety course.
Yes.
One thing that's not done, a hunter safety course, when I think of that, you're supposed to be teaching safety. Well, it's good to talk, but we put those kids out there after they were done shooting shotguns and skeet with instructors giving them hands-on training, and they had a blast. They had a blast. I haven't checked to see the numbers, but we had about 100 chairs in front of the stage for that class.
Oh.
It was half full. We had 49 last year. I'm hoping we beat that by 1 or 2. We had a lot of kids come out. A lot of women. There was a lot of people that took the course, but we had a lot of kids. The problem today in America, you got to put God first, and your country and your family are neck and neck second. We've got to get everybody working together to teach these kids. It's not a bad lifestyle. Teach them that this is America, to respect each other. You know, you hear all the negativity with guns and things in the world, but you know, when you take God out of the community and God out of the schools, and you take the power of the teachers to, control the children when they're wrong, then that's what's led us over the last 20, 30 years in the wrong direction. So with this expo, versus just going in there and having a good time, I'm trying to show families that it's a good, positive thing to be in the outdoors, no matter what side of it you want to be in. You don't have to hunt or fish, but there's a lot of other ways to do it.
Well, Harold, you are absolutely right in everything that you've said now with the training and the children, the problems and the current situation with gun control and how that overshadows the positive things that can be coming out of all of this.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We got to do that. And we're going to come back if you don't mind. I've got some more things we want to talk about. And then what does 2014 bring? And we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And we're looking forward to it. Folks, Harold Barnes, the guy that was behind all of this over here at the Kiwanis building and at the arena this past weekend, Sportsman Expo number 2, I guess we'll call it. And let's see what happens with Sportsman Expo number 3. I did talk to somebody there. I can't remember who it was, but we're standing over there where the kayaks were. And he was from Colorado. And I was talking to him, and I said, boy, all we need is a lake to put these things in. Well, what's next to the arena over there, whether you know it or not, is a lake, a pond that they use for fishing. And he said, I'm going to find out next year about putting kayak classes in over at the lake. So, this thing's, people are thinking out of the box,
and that's what I want them to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the norm.
Right.
We want to enlighten people. We want to enlighten them in several ways, and turn around and get these families back together and go in the right direction.
Outdoors is a great time for families. My son, my daughter, and my wife and I, the best times we've had is outside. We don't necessarily have to hunt. There's camping, there's fishing, there's all sorts of things to do in the outdoors.
Hiking.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter. There's children right here in Covington County, and we're in a small town. Lots of national forest and stuff.
We're
blessed. But there's
with
kids right here in this town that I guarantee you haven't took a walk through the woods.
Well, I saw on Facebook yesterday Casey Jones from Two Guys Pies over there posted on Facebook last night. He was coming back from Florida, and he saw a black bear crossing the road. And I sat there and I said, now, that may be unusual for some people to see, but I've seen lots of black bears because you get out in the woods in the wilderness, you see them, and you had live little what do they call the little deer?
We had the
whitetail.
We had whitetail baby deer for kids to bottle feed. They had set times, and there was kids getting to go in the little pen with them, and the deer'd come up and nibble their fingers and their ears, and you talking about having a good time. That John Lanier was slammed all weekend long. With
John's going to be on tomorrow, and we're going to have the deer here, so it's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, God help you with John.
You're not the only one that told me that, but we're excited. I know that he won me over. Oh, Eddie, just go in and pet the deer. And once you get in there and you see those little babies, and
it's awesome.
It is, and I like backstrap, and you look at these guys and you go, no, get that out of your mind, but it was precious.
Yeah, but the only thing about that, every baby animal is cute while they're little, but they grow up.
Kind of like kids. Yeah, but both of mine came out all right, and I know your boy's doing great over at Strawn. I've heard some great things, about him as well.
I'm looking forward to fall football. It's coming up.
Man, he's playing.
He plays defensive end and whatever else Coach Taylor and the guys need him to do. I'm looking forward to it. Last year he got a lot of playing time, but he wasn't the starter, so I'm hoping he earns the right to start his junior year, and I think he's well on his way. He was blessed this summer. We sent him to Alabama football camp with Nick Saban. And he come back with a totally different outlook on football, and he always says he's an Auburn fan. I think I converted him.
And that's hard to do, folks. But not really when you're 13. Never mind. We ain't going to go there.
Oh, no,
But,
no. Don't open that can of worms.
Yeah, we won't do that. But and people sit there, and I'm going to get you mad at me now. But I'm a Gator person. Okay. I know.
Interview's over.
There it goes, Eddie. You've done it now. But I'm actually alumnus. From I have to be.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
But I love Alabama. Okay, I really do. They're such a great organization. I mean, not just, and I've talked to those folks over there, from the bottom up to Sabian. You got the best.
You've got the best overall, as far as a program's going in the country. Nobody can deny what's going on at Alabama.
We're going way out of here. We're supposed to take a break a while back.
That's right.
But Auburn, in my opinion, and I love all the Auburn fans out there, and they're a great team. However, if they would just leave the package together
long enough
for it to work, I think they'd have an awesome setup. When Tuberville was there, I thought they had it.
Yep, I agree.
And when that didn't happen, I was like, really? You guys done that? And I was like, there you go. And it's been that way ever since.
Winningest coach they ever had.
We got to take commercial break. When Teresa's sitting over there, you heard her say, keep it real. That's your job when we go out to break. But if you don't mind, take us into commercial break by saying, keep it real.
This is Harold Barnes with the Covenant Sportsman's Expo. Keep it real.
Keep God in it. We love y'all. We'll be right back right after these messages, folks. We love you. God bless you. Harold Barnes. I'll be right back. Good morning and welcome back to WKNI TV 25 on this first day of July 2013. A busy weekend around Covington County. I mean, I can't think of any town that didn't have something going on. Florella just came out of the 24th of June celebration, the Masonic celebration there all last week. And then the All-Star games being played at the park over there, the Sports Expo, which you're here on. Just so much going around the community. It was like, really? And we're in South Alabama and the Wiregrass that nobody ever hears about. And here we so they say anyway. But some great things happened this weekend over at the Kiwanis building and over there at the arena. And in between as well. Everything was utilized. We talked about it off the air a little bit, how everything was set up and how it was working. You've done a great job. A huge, as we talked about, funnel of we talked about funnel cakes, so I guess that's why that came out. But a funneling of funds and money and taxes and revenue came into this community in a 3-day period. That would not have been here if it wasn't for you doing what you did. We thank you for that because that's a boost to our community.
Well, in these trying times where with the economy the way it is, we need to do what we can to work together. Everybody has to work together to keep our community up and going. And my main goal is to entertain and give people something fun to do for as little money as possible. And we charge $10 to get in to the expo, and in my mind, you can't even go to a movie theater and get a bag of popcorn for that. So
you can.
So that's a couple hours of entertainment for $10 to $15. You had a full day's worth of entertainment. You couldn't even get it all done in one day, and that was my goal.
How did you get them swamp people in there? I mean, now we're talking about headliners now.
Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you, to give people an idea, they think it's easy. You just call them up and say, hey, how much are you?
Yeah.
These guys are worldwide. They're not just in our country now. They're networking. What we saw on the show, the first couple of shows are just now being aired around the world.
Right.
So they're getting offers to go to Australia and wherever else it's being aired. So they have to pick and choose what they want to do. Well, I've got a good friend of mine, Troy Ruiz, which he's worked for Primos, he's worked for Headhunters TV, several different outdoor shows, and he's a very dear friend of mine. He's actually very close friends with the Landrys back before they became famous. And these guys, a lot of people don't know it, but the Landrys sell crawfish for a living. That's that's who Troy himself. He was very, I've been told, responsible for getting people eating the crawfish way back 30 years ago, other than the Cajuns, making it a popular dish so people in Louisiana can make a living.
Right.
And so that's his main job, not gator hunting, crawfish. That's his main line of business. And anyway, but the gator hunting's a 30-day thing.
Right.
But you know, he's famous now. Everybody loves him. But you can't just call up his manager and say, hey, how much are you, and blah blah blah, and pay the bill. They pick and choose.
Right.
And but I've got friends, and I'm blessed. So same way with Bruce, you know. But once I got in with the Landrys, then that connected me to Bruce and Bruce Mitchell and Tyler off the show. We had them in on Friday and Saturday morning. I surprised everybody and had him come back Saturday morning just because everybody had a good time on Friday. And due to the weather also,
right.
he wanted to make sure everybody got to see him.
Crazy
Yep.
people.
But now Tim Bradley and folks like that, you know, that boy's from Arkansas, and he travels. He shoots for Benelli, but he also is sponsored by Federal Ammunition and others, and so he's got a tight schedule. Well, you have to sign these people usually 6 months or more in advance. Pay the money. It's got to sit out there that long in order to have them at a show like this. That's how it works.
And something happened at the Kiwanis building on Saturday that never has happened before, I think, and that was that duck calling setup or
turkey calling.
Turkey
Come
calling.
on,
I'm sorry.
Come on.
Did I say duck?
Yeah,
I know.
This isn't Arkansas. We
I
don't
know.
do a whole
Turkey
lot of duck
calling.
hunting.
All right. But that was phenomenal.
That was, I put it on the website as 4 turkeys talking turkey, because they're all
That's
friends
right.
of mine, and they
Duck calling. Where did I get that from?
yeah, those guys. But it was Eddie Salter, world champion turkey caller, lives over around Evergreen. Preston Pittman, world champion turkey caller. They have done shows together, but they have never been on the stage at the same time. They've been on the stage a couple of times just talking a little bit, but this was the first time you got to see them do a hands-on seminar or mouth-on, because they not only taught how to kill turkeys and call turkeys, they demonstrated. And then a good friend of mine, Kevin Matthews, and Troy Ruiz. Kevin, a lot of people don't know, he does a lot of designing. He's an engineer by trade, but he does a lot of designing behind the scenes for Primos, the best turkey calls in the world. And anyway, Kevin could be a world champion turkey caller himself if he just go do it, because he's that good. Wow. He's so good that Eddie and Preston call on him when they're having problems. And he lives over in Elba, and but him and Troy, those 4 guys got up there and put on a show that was amazing. And for people who were turkey hunting enthusiasts, even ones who were just thinking about it, they learned more in 45 minutes, I guarantee you, from the best turkey hunters in the world than they would have learned anywhere else in 10 years.
Well, we heard about it, and we got there shortly after on that event, and it was so cute. I saw a little kid about this tall going around trying to do turkey calling. Yep. And it was like, it was precious.
Well, getting to next year, I'm gonna throw a few things out there that we're looking at. Of course, I mentioned Taurus wanting to come in next year. They've got several shooters that go around and do competition. They've told me they were going to get one of their shooters to come, set up a booth and do several shooting demonstrations. If you've never seen it, you see it on TV where it looks like they're just shooting, speed shooting.
Right.
If you've never seen it in person, at how accurate they are and how much practice time it takes to be that accurate and that fast.
It's not a camera shot.
Oh no, it's not. But these and most of them are women. The best shooters in the world, a lot of people don't realize, are women. But these ladies,
remember that, guys.
Yeah, hey, you put a handgun in their hands, you better behave. But anyway, but those shooters, if we can get one of those here in the house, they not only are talking about bringing a shooter to demo all their guns, but to turn around and bring enough ammunition that anybody that wants to try it and learn a little more and train themselves, they're willing to spend the time and the money to come to Andalusia, Alabama, and help us with that. Another thing, I'm not sure who I'm going to get as far as a famous person off these shows to come do autograph session and whatever, but I've got some good ideas, so pay attention to the website. I've got some more contacts, of course. The Landrys give me some this weekend. Bruce give me some. So, and because they're friends with a lot of them, and that's all it is you got to get.
It's networking.
You got to get in the door.
Right.
And but now I'm in the door, so there's no telling what we're going to pull off next year. But my goal, Fedderson Barrels already told me they'll come back and do the 22s next year, and we already had probably the best shotgun company in the world come in, but there are several other shotgun companies that I'm sure are going to be knocking on the door to want to come do something and demo. And but that's fine. I'm not going to turn them away if we can have a good time and train these kids, train these women. And even if you're a young man out there, a grown adult that, maybe or an older gentleman that maybe used to shoot and haven't done it in a long time, hey, get up off that recliner and let's go play and have a good time.
Well, I'm going to throw a suggestion out there for you. I love black powder. And, yeah, I know, there I went, right?
Well, you're stepping on my toes here.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
But I've got a guy that was at our show. He is huge into black powder. He makes his own guns. He knows people who can put on a show for us and teach you how to do it. And that's our goal.
It's a lot of fun to do black powder.
And but I've got somebody else I'm really leaning towards. Byron Ferguson is a monster hit. If you've never seen him, he shoots a longbow. Mm-hmm. He's been on Impossible Shots
that was
many times. Well, guess what? I've got his phone number. And if you've ever seen him in person, he can shoot an aspirin out of the air. I'm not talking about just hit it. Right. I'm talking about smoke it, chalk, with an arrow.
And he does the what do they call it, the Robin Hood, arrow within the arrow within the arrow.
Yes, and he's amazing. I've met Byron several times over the past 4 or 5 years, and he lives here in Alabama. I didn't even know that. Yes, sir. Wow. But Tim Bradley and him are very, very good friends. So he told Byron that I'd be calling him. I got his cell phone number, and I'm hoping we're going to hook up, and so that'll hit the archery side of things. If I can hit the black powder side of things, and the handgun side of things, and the shotgun side of things,
and the 22,
and the rifles, the 22. What more can you ask for?
Oh, I got one.
Come on, bring it.
We'll say it off the air. But no, one of the things that we'd like to offer for you next year on WKNI is, as you do get these people in, we will go to any extent to give interviews to them to talk about the program that's going on out there. It's important to let the folks know what they're getting ready to see and happen. Yeah. We'd love to be a bigger part this year and next year. And we want to get you to come on several times. I'm booking you, okay? Several times prior to the show.
Well, before we get off, one thing I forgot to say. All the game wardens, Chris Lewis, and
no relation, but a nice guy.
Hey, all those guys, all of them turned out and helped put on that hunter's education course for us. Last year's class was the largest they'd ever had in Covington County at 49. I'm praying we beat it. If we didn't beat it, we were neck and neck. But here's the big kicker. Those officers association with not the state, the officers association with those guys, they voted. They give away 3 lifetime licenses a year. We got one of them.
Wow.
And one of those children won that license. I've got to compile all of this over the next couple of weeks, put it on Facebook, put it on the website. Without my better half, Erica, which is much better with a computer than I am, and I'll be honest with everybody.
And better with an alarm clock too, I hear.
Yeah, everybody. She got me up an hour early this morning, but all these Facebooking and Twitter stuff.
Social networking.
I'm getting old, long in the tooth to learn how to do all that stuff. But you know, I run my mouth and she does the computer work. Now, I have, believe it or not, learned how to run the website. Hallelujah. So, but, you know, the website is kind of my cup of tea. It comes to my phone and I'll answer you pretty promptly if you got a question. But the Facebook side of things and really doing the hard networking, that's all her. And without her, she's exhausted. I'm sure she's still in bed. You know, and my son Hunter, and then all of my friends. I probably had 20 of my closest friends, and when you consider, most people have, you know, friends that they can truly count on, you know, one hand.
Right.
I'm telling you, I had about 20 out there this weekend busting their tails for me so I'm going to say this, a bunch of them absolutely no pay. And you saw them with my shirts on, you know, but what it come down to, you know, I've done a few nice things for people over the years just because I enjoy helping people. That's what I like to do. A lot of them were just coming up and hugging me and saying good job, and I was thanking them, and they said, well, you remember 5 years ago you helped get me out of the ditch, or you come over and did this, or, you know, when my dad died you were there. That's why they came. So I want to thank all of you. I'm not going to name you, but thank you so much.
Well, you know, that's something we have here in this community, and that is people that care about people.
Yeah.
And you're a big chip on that part of it, and I've heard a lot about you. And you know, I'm honored to know you. I mean, hey, you come from great stock, buddy. Okay? I mean, Grady Barnes, to me, there's no second to none with him, and I'm sure you're of that caliber. So
Yeah.
we thank you for what you're doing for our community, on behalf of this community. Yeah, you made a buck or might make a buck off of it.
Hope we broke even, brother.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, the point is look what you did for this community.
Yeah.
And you know, the mayor recognized it yesterday at the end of the program, and you know, I'm sure that this community definitely wants to see 2014 come with a new expo. We sure do, because I'll tell you, I ain't had so much fun in a long time getting out there. All right, boating safety, four-wheeler safety. Okay, that's the things I was going to throw at you.
I have to find, here's the thing about that, so you'll understand. I'm not just going to get anybody up there
Right.
to talk it. I got to find the right instructors.
Right, and Marine Patrol has some good people, and
They do. I had them there, but they were talking Sea-Doo safety. They had
Yep.
a Sea-Doo over in the other building, letting the kids ride it and educating them about their safety vest and proper techniques.
right,
The Alabama State Departments, all of them.
right.
All of them. I called them and they jumped on board and they showed up and did a wonderful job.
Well, you done a wonderful job, and so did your staff. And I want to say, and I'm saying it because I love the guy, Gary Buck. You did a heck of a job. I know you, and when you put your nose to the wheel, buddy, it's getting done.
And don't forget John Dean with
Yes.
Power South.
Yep.
John ran the cameras. He filmed several. One thing that we were lacking last year, a lot of people filmed for us, but you know, I never got any of it back.
Right.
And they did whatever they did with it. This year, John went out there and filmed the entire Tim Bradley episode. The Four Turkeys Talking Turkey. Several other aspects of filming. He's going to help me compile some stuff to put. We got a little video section on our website that's empty right now. Guess what's coming?
There you
So
go.
when folks go and click on that and they see what they missed out on, you know, I knew going into this project. I told the city when I first presented it to them, and you know, people present things to the city every day.
Right.
And they looked at me like I was crazy, you know, but they listened. And they went ahead and got on board last year and gave me a little bit of rope. And we did a good job, you know, but I told them we could do better. And we did a little better this year. My goal, I told them going in, it was going to take 5 years to get it right. I'm willing to put forth the work. They are willing to put forth the work. And all we need is a little support from the community. And I think it's going to be an amazing 5 years, 3 more years from now. I don't want to be a Birmingham show or a Montgomery show or any of these others where they forget their roots of why they started, and they become just a monster vending mecca, and it's just money, trying to make money off of vending. We will never, I promise you, if I'm in control of this, we will never lose the safety aspects, getting the children out there hands-on. They can't learn a love of anything from somebody talking.
Right.
They have to play with the toys. They have to play with the four-wheelers and this, that, and the other, and learn respect for it. So maybe they'll teach as they get older. They'll want to help us. These
Save
teenagers.
one life. That's all that matters.
That's right. Save one life. The guns aren't bad. Four-wheelers aren't bad. Accidents happen. Bad things happen. Life happens. But if you go into it with the right attitude and educate with hands-on training. Without the hands-on, they're not going to be successful. Exactly. Could you hit a baseball the first time you stepped on a baseball field, or could you throw a football? You had to throw it and throw it and throw it, or hit it and keep swinging until you hit it.
Right.
But that's the way I look at the outdoors. The first time you pick up a bow, can you hit anything? No. But James Ennis over at White Oak Archery, he's a champion, and a lot of people don't know, a champion in many aspects. You look at him and you say, he can shoot lights out with a bow, and the good thing about him, he can teach you how to do it. So that's the kind of instructors I'm looking for.
Well, we're looking forward to 2014 and fantastic job 2013. I mean, if you can do better than this, I can't wait, because this is a phenomenal show that you put on, and on behalf of our viewers and WKNI, we thank you, Harold, for doing this.
Thank you very much.
Your staff,
you're welcome.
Your staff
many
was
times over.
Just phenomenal. The people that you had out there, the vendors, everybody done a great job out there. Want to thank Andalusia Police Department, Covington County Sheriff's Department, Advanced DMS. Just everybody was a big. There was
the local fire department was there for us for the Tim Bradley show. That guy saluted the military, and at the end he blew up I don't know what it was, but it made a sonic boom and caught the area on fire for a minute. We knew it was going to happen, but we had the local fire department was there. The guys were ready just in case, and just like Tim told me, he was a professional. He said, I've done it 1,000 times, and he said, you're going to be okay, but he said, have a fire truck there just in case, and we were prepared.
Right.
And that's, as long as you're prepared and you're ready for any problems that happen, then you can have a safe, wonderful weekend doing stuff like this.
Well, you know what we call Gary Buck?
No, I don't.
He's our MacGyver. Think about that. You know exactly what I'm saying.
Is that why, like this little speaker, one time he tried to stick a piece of gum there to hold it?
Gary Buck, MacGyver. There you go, folks.
Yeah.
I said it. He'll get me later on, I'm sure. But Kiwanians, also, thank you for everything that you've done out there. Great support to the community that you've been with many, many things, and we're looking forward to serving this community as well.
Okay.
Harold, thanks so much for coming on and sharing all this. We're looking forward to having you sit here many more times coming up as you progress and things happen for the next show. Take a few days off. And
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2
weeks.
Mama has other plans. Did she not tell you last night? I talked to her a little bit.
Hey, she's put up with a lot of. As a matter of fact, my co-workers at Andalusia Manor, Sally and Stallion, and Kristen and Marcia, and all of them in the room. That I work in the therapy department out there.
Okay.
And anyway, they've put up with a ton for a year. And some of those come out and help me this weekend, and and they're working for no pay. But I love you guys.
Great staff over there.
I'm gonna take today and tomorrow off and go back to work on Wednesday and start working on helping some folks again with their problems. But anyway, without all those friends, I wouldn't have survived. This was a tough year as far as mentally challenging. It was mentally challenging.
Well, I can't imagine the physical challenge as well because
That was
many hours.
this weekend. That was
Yeah.
this weekend.
Well, Harold, again, thank you. And
Yes, sir.
looking forward to it. I'm excited. I can sit here and see what you've put together this year. Come on,
How do you make it better?
How do you? I mean,
That's my job.
well, make sure you have our MacGyver out there. He'll take care of all the other things.
I think Gary's in for the long haul and John's in for the long haul, and without those two guys, I'm serious that we're the three amigos. Erica called us the Three Stooges, but hey, we got the job done. That's all that matters.
Go by and say hi to Gary over at Covington Electronics. Certainly another local business in this community that we need to support. We always support buying locally, and they've got all the appliances and everything over there as well. So we thank them for, Ed Buck has been around forever and letting us have Gary Buck for you to be over there. His son, and he just got off a pretty big illness here over the past couple of months, and it was good to see Gary out there with you, and all of y'all. I'm just picking on Gary because he knows I pick on him, but we love you guys. Thank you for watching. Remember,
keep it real.
Keep God in it, folks, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of that out there this weekend too. Lots of good Christian fellowship was going on out there. So y'all come on out and see him next year. We'll be having that here on WKNI TV 25. Thanks for tuning in. God bless you. Good luck to you, Erica. Put him to bed. We'll see you.
All right.
See you tomorrow.